Hey guys, Out to These Pelza here. Hey everybody over on the channel. How are you doing? I wanted to come and talk to you guys really quickly. I know guys, we're like getting ready for, 2020. Everybody is kind of bypassing the end of 2019. Like I really think people are like trying to skip these last 3 weeks of the year. Reality check, you cannot skip the last 3 weeks of the year at all. You got to go all in until the very last day, the very last hour. Make sure that you are going all in. So I wanted to make sure that I came and supported you guys, and let's have a conversation. Why? Here's why. So, one of the things as an introvert that has really been a valuable asset for me has been my network. Learning how to properly network, learning how to um, leverage opportunities, not leverage people and leverage people's names. Those important, valuable things have been what has really allowed me to move forward in my business. Now, I know right now, because of social media, people don't know how to network. Like I was asking, a few of the communities over on Facebook. I said, what's really holding you back from doing more networking? What is the honesty, the honest to goodness truth about why you have not networked more for your business? And I gave them a couple suggestions. Are you scared that somebody's going to go and steal your ideas? Are you fearful, that you may not fit in, or people may say something about your ideas? Or is it that you just can't find any networking events? Honestly, I know that depending on where you are, no matter where you are in the world, sometimes finding those networking opportunities is not always the easiest option. It's not always the easiest thing to do. So maybe it's because you can't find the right opportunities for you to be able to network. That part. But one of the responses was, that they just don't know how to network with people. And I think where we are right now, that's definitely a problem because we have to network. I know that, social media is a great asset, it's a great tool, but word of mouth is always going to be a top way of marketing. Even on social media, when someone posts about your business, about your product, your services, when somebody posts about hearing you speak on a stage, it's still word of mouth. It still matters, the network that you have and the people that you are engaging with. So we have to really, before we close out 2019, say, what are we doing about the people that we network with? What networks are we trying to build? Who are we trying to be connected to? So when we're saying all of these things, we really need to have this conversation and have it clearly, people, clearly. Why? Because when we don't have this clear and concise conversation, it leaves too many things up to chance. So if I'm not being deliberate about the network that I'm trying to build and the connections that I'm trying to build, then I'll just accept anything. And I've seen that happen a lot, especially when it comes to speaking and being an author. Now, this is the things that they don't want to talk about, right? When it comes to being a speaker, I often get people who tell me, oh, they had such a bad experience at a speaking event. They paid money to speak at an event and they didn't get anything back. And, or they were always putting out all of this money. I know people that have put out thousands and thousands of dollars to speak on stages and have not gotten any return. First and foremost, you should always be doing an evaluation of, if you're speaking somewhere and not getting a return on the investment, then why are you still speaking on that platform? That's something that as a mature adult speaker, we need to have that mature conversation with ourselves and say, Maybe this isn't the right option for me. Maybe this is not the right opportunity or the right network that I need to be in. Another thing is that we get very comfortable. Can we be honest? We get very comfortable in fitting into only one network. And it's out of fear. It's out of fear. We won't go and expand who we're talking to. We won't go and connect with other people. Social media is an amazing asset because it gives us a global platform. There is no one that cannot say, I cannot be a global business, a global speaker, an international best-selling author. There's no one that can say, I can't do it. You can. There's a free platform called social media. There's a free app called Facebook. There's a free app called LinkedIn. There's a free app. There, you have the opportunities. It's who are you networking with in order for you to be able to have that access. Do you get that part? Like, who are you actually networking with? So for instance, and this is one of my pet peeves, and it's happening more on LinkedIn now, and it's such a pet peeve, is when people go and they tag you in posts and it has nothing to do with you. That's not networking. That's not networking. That's you trying to leverage a person's name or leverage a person's platform instead of you learning how to leverage an opportunity. Have you actually had a conversation with people, and instead of you going and tagging them and 98 other people? This is still, I don't understand how people still find this to be an acceptable form of marketing. I don't know. But granted, if that's what you do, whatever floats your boat, you go ahead and do it. But we have to understand there's other ways. If we just have conversations with people, we get further along by having conversations than with tagging 99 people. And like I said, it's something that happens a whole lot on Facebook, and it's now becoming more and more of a trend, quote unquote, on LinkedIn. Here's the thing. If you learn how to communicate with people, if you learn how to build networks, if you learn how to network, then that's what sets you apart. And so for me as an introvert, if I did not learn how to network and actually engage people in conversations and actually show up places, then I would not be where I am. And that's just honesty. That's just an honesty moment. So many times we think that we have to look a certain way, we have to sound a certain way. Trust me, I've had people tell me multiple times that, oh, you should have your hair a certain way, and you should always wear makeup, and you should always, why? I want the value of my message to be what is most valuable, what's most important. If the way that I show up is the way, if you can't take the message and pull from it the meat that you need from it because of how I show up, then that's not a problem with me. That's an internal problem with you. But this is why it's very important for us to determine what communities and what networks we're going to be a part of. If somebody doesn't accept you for who you are, or because they don't like what you wear, or they don't like, they don't like, okay, that may not be the community for you. That may not be the network that you need to be engaging in. Now, granted, and I was listening to a message, I was listening to Secrets to Success with Eric Thomas. And, they were talking about how at one point, they were leveling up in how much money that they were, charging. And they were going from like 5 to 7,000 to about $10,000 per event. And they had gotten an opportunity, and the people called and said, oh no, they didn't call. They were talking to them on the phone and securing the opportunity. And the people said they wanted Eric Thomas to wear a suit. Eric Thomas doesn't wear a suit. I've never seen him in a suit. He might wear one. I've never seen him in a suit. So he said, well, no, I'm not putting on a suit. So, we could turn it down. Now, granted, if it's about the money, then you'll go ahead and you'll compromise. And this is going to go a little deep for some of you. You'll compromise who you are as a speaker, an author, an entrepreneur. You'll compromise who you are as a mother. You'll compromise who you are as an individual, as a human being. You'll compromise who you are in order to fit into their box. But as entrepreneurs, we fought hard to get out of the box. As speakers, we fight hard to stay out of the box. As authors, we fight hard to come out of the box and come away from what they say or quote unquote say is the proper way to be anything. That is one of the reasons why entrepreneurship is such an amazing opportunity and also a dream for so many, because we've been held back by, you can only wear a certain thing, you can only wear these shoes, you can only have your hair a certain way, we've gone through that for long enough, right? So they were talking about how they turned it down, and you know they were talking about how, oh my goodness, you can't really compromise, and then how later on they had another opportunity that came up. And the people said, oh my goodness, we're really excited. It was a corporate opportunity. And they said, can you make sure that that ET wears the t-shirt and the hat? He said, because that's how everybody knows him. See, when you're determined to stand in your value and stand in your power, and you show up giving value, then people have to learn to accommodate who you are, or they just don't. But it matters because as we're trying to grow, we're trying to get into certain circles and certain networks, and we want to connect. Listen, anytime I've been able to see Jay-Z sit next to Warren Buffett and them have a conversation, guys, you can't say that you need to fit into a certain box, you need to fit into a certain bubble. That's not how this works. Networking is about conversation. So as an introvert, I don't fit in most times. I'm the quiet one, I'm the laid back one, I'm not always the one that wants to go out. That's just me. As a person, that's just me. But I had to learn certain things that were going to work for me as an introvert in an extroverted industry. Speaking is an extroverted industry. When you look at it from the big standpoint, when you look at it from the big, big names, it's an extroverted industry. Why? Because people go out, they have drinks, they go out to meals and dinners and all these galas and everything like that, and that's how they network. For me, that wasn't a strong selling point because I don't want to go out with you. Let's just be real. Let's be honest. And so I had to go back and say, okay, well, if that's not what I want to do, then I have to find things that are going to work for me in order for me to build my network. Now, mind you, granted, let me go ahead and say this. I have been able to fill my podcast calendar 2 and 3 months out from networking. I've been able to have 6 and 7 figure earners on my podcast from networking. And I didn't have to fit into anybody's bubble, and I didn't have to dress a certain way or look a certain way. I just had to look and see what my power was and stand in it and be authentically me. I've had people come and try to stronghold my podcast, and they want to tell me how to do my podcast. And you can create your own platform. That's the freedom that we have. But those who have been on my podcast, those who are within my network, absolutely love my show. And it's because I went and I came authentically me. So when we're talking about networking and how your network is going to be your most valuable asset, especially as we go into 2020, there's a big shift coming. And social media, if you have not paid attention, is going back to being social. LinkedIn has given you options for you to be more social. Now we have reactions over on LinkedIn. We have live streaming over on LinkedIn. Why? Because we're going back to just being social and engaging conversation with people. That is why that will be your most valuable asset. If I'm going live, I'm having a conversation with the people that are on my timeline, that are in my following, that are in my network. See how that works? If I'm doing an event, I'm going and I'm saying yes to opportunities that I've been able to gain access to from my networks, from the people that I actually connect to and talk to. So, when I talk about your network being your most valuable asset, especially as we're going into 2020 and the shifts that have been happening across social media, you have to understand that word of mouth is still a powerful marketing tool. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I don't care how far off we've gone into technology. I don't care, listen, I understand we're doing this whole VR thing now and augmented reality and AI. And listen, I understand all that. Word of mouth will still be your top way to market. It will still be your top way to market. And if you don't think so, huh, you got another thing coming. You got another thing coming. As we continue to build our network, it's going to be the people that talk about you and what they say about you when you're not in the room. That's going to be valuable. It was interesting, I had a client that connected with me and they said, well, I love what you're doing as an entrepreneur and I've been following your journey and I saw the shift. And me and some other people were talking about just how consistent you are and the things that you discuss and how you talk about the topics that nobody else wants to talk about. And we saw the value in that. And so we wanted you to speak for our event. It's from the conversations that are being had when you're not even in the room. I didn't even know who it was that was having the conversation about me, which is says something about your consistency in showing up, because your consistency and how you show up, and that matters. But they were talking about me and creating an opportunity for me, and I had not even been in their presence, physically in their presence. I had only been in their presence virtually. Word of mouth is going to still be the most powerful marketing tool, even if it's online. When people take a picture with you and show up and say something about it, when they leave a review, when they leave a recommendation. If you don't believe me, look at the update for LinkedIn. LinkedIn just did an update where you can give people, it's called kudos, where you can give people kudos on LinkedIn for a job well done. You don't think conversation is important and how you value your network is important? You're giving them a digital thank you. You're giving them a digital thank you card right here on the platform. And look, and they're saying it over on LinkedIn. That's true. People love word of mouth. It's powerful. Hey, Lanita. And look, Angela said, I totally agree. And your character speaks volumes. Exactly. And I found that there have been people who tried to belittle my character, and other people have stood up and said, you're talking about the wrong person. Mm-mm. That's why it matters. Your network. will have conversations in rooms that you have not even stepped into yet. Your network will have conversations about you that will open up opportunities that you may not have even been looking for. That consistency and that authenticity will matter though. And so, number two, the reason why your network is so valuable is the accountability. Now, I want y'all to get this straight. When I say accountability, I do not mean it's because you're comparing yourself to that other person. The accountability that I am speaking of is the fact that you are speaking to yourself and holding yourself accountable in what you say, in what you do, in how you show up, and then actually having a coach or a mentor that is going to put your butt to the fire. You want to know the number, you want to know, I won't even say number one, but you want to know a top killer of entrepreneurs everywhere, all over the world. You want to know what the killer is, what dashes their dreams, what tears them apart? They're not taking action. That's what's killing us as entrepreneurs. We're not taking action, or we're taking the wrong action. We're being information hoarders. I was just talking about this on live stream earlier on Facebook. We're being information hoarders and we're not taking action. So we're collecting webinars and ebooks and tip sheets and resources, and we're going and signing up for memberships that we're not taking. We're not utilizing what's there in the community. That's not accountability. Accountability is somebody putting your butt to the fire, somebody making you take action. And so one of the things that I did was we're doing a meetup in Philadelphia this weekend, the 14th from 11 to 2. It's a meetup for small business owners. I let them know ahead of time. You are going to take action while you are at this meetup. We're going to shift some things for you for 2020. You're going to take action. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm holding your butt to the fire. Even though I'm not your coach, I'm holding your butt to the fire, because there's so many people that are becoming information hoarders and just collecting information that we're killing ourselves. You know that they say that entrepreneurs don't make it past 5 years, the 5-year mark. Well, why is that? We have access to information. We have so much access to information, guys. It's horrible. We have Uncle Google and Aunt YouTube that will tell you everything, like they are the drunk aunt and uncle at the family picnic. They'll tell you everything. So we have access to the information, but are we utilizing the information? We aren't. And so I'm literally watching entrepreneurs go back to jobs. I'm watching entrepreneurs shut their business down. I'm watching them get frustrated and quitting. Why? No accountability. Because in your moment, I'll get a little, I'll throw a little bit of word in there for you. In your Jonah moment, you should have somebody in your network that is dragging you out of the car. Because if everybody in your network is willing to drive you to the boat, then you have the wrong network. Can we just have that honesty moment? Can we just have that honesty moment? Are the people in your network those that will pull you out of the car, or are they ones that will drive you to the boat? I found myself being connected to people that would drive me to the boat. Why? Because they really did not see the value in what it was that I was doing. They really did not see the value in me as a person. And one of the ways that you'll see people don't see the value in you is that when things go awry, they don't look for you. They don't look to support you. They don't come to check on you, those things. You'll have a very small few that will go and will check on you and support you. But trust and believe, you got to pay very close attention to it. As an entrepreneur, you need some people that will hold your butt to the fire. You will. And it doesn't matter what business you're in. And even if you're not an entrepreneur and you're at a job and you're in a corporate position, you need some people who are within your connections that you can go and call and talk to that are going to talk you down off of that ledge sometimes. Because guess what? Life happens. If ever you think that life will happen and it won't affect your business, or business will happen and it won't affect life, then you are living in a dream. You can't live one without the other. Unfortunately, there's no way to split the two. And so everything that goes on in one will at some point trickle down and affect the other. Even if it's just your health that's being affected. That's where having that accountability matters. And so I've seen people have great ideas, great opportunities, have even a great job, and completely lose everything because they did not have someone in their network that they could actually go and talk to and have an honest conversation. Because that's the reality of it, is that we don't want to feel vulnerable. We're scared of that piece, right? We're scared of feeling vulnerable because if I feel vulnerable, then how are people going to look at me? I'm going to be the fragile entrepreneur. You're not fragile. You're human. Being human doesn't make you fragile. So you got to have that understanding. And then it takes me to number 3. Number 3 is so very valuable as well. And where are you showing up? When you have a powerful network, they won't let you just show up anywhere. They won't allow you to always show up in the same place. And they'll push you to show up somewhere different that's outside of your comfort zone. Where are you showing up? If your connections and your network are not sending you opportunities and or having conversations with you about different things that are coming up, then we really have to go and say, why aren't we having these conversations? So for instance, my team, my clients, they know I'm always pushing opportunities over to them. As speakers, as authors, as entrepreneurs, I'm always, here's another opportunity. Here's an opportunity for you to get seen. Here's an opportunity for you to show up at an event. Why? We should be always looking at ways that we can expand our network. And the only way we do that is making sure that we are showing up in places where we can have these conversations. I'm going to give you an example. I went to a networking event. This was last year. I went to a networking event and I'm an introvert, guys. This one right here, pure introvert. I'm an introvert and I went to the networking event and I knew a few people there because they had been on my podcast. I knew the organizer of the event and I was super excited to be connecting with him. And I knew, I think maybe like one other person because I had seen them at a previous networking event. So it was great. You know, I knew a few people. I took some pictures. I mingled a little bit, and I went on with life. Because you know, when you do a lot of peopling, you have to have some downtime after that. Not too long after that, I got tagged in a post, in the comments of a post, and someone was looking for somebody to do video, you know, to help with doing some intro videos and outro videos. And I was like, okay, great. I didn't know who the person was that was looking for it, but somebody who knew me and knew that I was always doing things with video suggested me put my name in the comments. Now, my name was not the first name in the comments, and I did not know the individual. But I want to show you the power of your network. The person that put my name in the comments was someone that had been a guest on my podcast. And when he put my name in the comments, and I went and I responded, the young lady, she said, "Oh," she said, "the name sounds familiar. Weren't you at the networking event that we were at in Baltimore?" And I said, "Yeah." She said, "Send me your quote." I wasn't the first one in the comments, and I didn't know her personally. Your network will be your most valuable asset, even if they're not. Listen, all people got to know is who you are, who you serve, and how you serve. That's what I'm always teaching my clients. Every time you show up, if you're doing a live stream, if you're doing a podcast, if you're doing a speaking on a stage, people should walk away knowing who you are, who you serve, and how you serve. When they know those three things, they are able to take your name and to place it and drop it wherever is necessary. They're able to take your name and suggest it to somebody who may need your services. Who you are, who you serve, and how you serve. And so I not only worked with her on projects that she was doing, she went and she shared out my name and information for other people that were looking for information and that were looking for someone to help with different things. She went and was sending me new clients. Your network will always continuously be your most valuable asset. How you treat your network matters. Do you communicate with your network? Do you support them? And so this is what I'm going to say to you. One of the things that LinkedIn does, this is just a tip. You guys, those of you that stayed to the end, I always try to give y'all at least one actionable tip. Y'all know I'm all about taking action. LinkedIn does something where they share with you everybody who has an anniversary at their job or their business, and they share with you all of the birthdays. I'm going to say to you, take about 20 minutes, and you really want to have some true connections on LinkedIn. You really want to have some true conversations. When you see people's birthday pop up, go to their page. Don't just send them a message that says happy birthday. Go to their page and look at what was the last article they posted and comment. Get a thoughtful comment on the last thing they posted. Look at the last video they uploaded or that the last live stream they did. Go and leave a thoughtful comment. See, this goes away from you just liking a post. This is you actually doing some work, putting some work in order for you to build up a strong network. See, we can collect names on LinkedIn all day, every day. Every day you will have people send you an invite. But when you're trying to make a significant change in your business and brand to where you're trying to have a stable foundation and your network is a part of your stable foundation, then what you will do is you will actually put in the work to build up that network so people know what it is that you do. I had someone connect with me over the weekend. They went to my page, they saw what I do, and they saw my live streams, they saw my content. I'm always posting. I probably post at least once a day on LinkedIn. After we had already made the connection, she came back and said, "I need you on my show. I need you on my podcast." Because I'm consistent. I'm always showing up. But also it's because there are people who are engaged on my timeline. You see the engagement, you see the conversations that are being had, right? Look, that's right. Personal connections. You're seeing that conversation. You're seeing the engagement. You're seeing listen, you're seeing it. And when you see it, you say, okay, this person, for one, this person is a real person, because y'all know we get requests from some pretty sketchy accounts sometimes. We know that this person is a real person. We can tell their level of engagement or how they engage. We can tell if there's somebody that's going to be genuine about what it is that they're talking about. And most times you can go through and see what it is that they're good at. People will give recommendations, people will give reviews, people will go and do all of these different things on your page. That is one of the ways that you will go and secure your network. I know everybody's always talking about secure the bag. I need you to go a little further and secure your network. Can we secure the network this year? Can we actually go and get back to having real conversations with people? I'm telling you, it will take your page to a whole nother level if you do that. Remember, you just go on it could be the birthdays or the congrats for the anniversaries. Do either do either one, and literally and go and connect and engage on their actual page. You can still send them a birthday. You can still send them a birthday shout out if you like, but go and actually connect on their page. You will see your engagement go up, and people will start to look at you different and come and connect with you differently. But you got to be willing to do the work. That part. So I appreciate you guys. We done went overtime for today. But I always value what it is that you guys are doing. Make sure that you check us out. # World Voice League all across social media, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. We want to make sure that we are creating opportunities. One of the things that World Voice League is all about is creating platforms so that way you can have your voice heard. We have the Our Voice Matters blog. We have the # Speak Easy podcast, that part. And then, of course, we have the World Voice League community. Here on Facebook, there is a group, as well as there is a group here on Facebook. Here on LinkedIn, there is a group, as well as over on Facebook. If you go to bit.ly/World Voice Community, we would love for you to come in. It's a global network of people coming in and sharing who it is that they are, who they serve, and how they serve. Guys, it's all about that. And then, of course, there's other opportunities over there. There's podcasters who are always looking for guests and things of that nature right there in the community. So it's bit.ly/World Voice Community. We would love to have you in the community, and I look forward to talking to you guys later. Last note, last thing. I know I feel like I just had a finally my brethren moment. Last thing. Share out the broadcast. Somebody may need this information. It may be relevant to somebody on your timeline. Share it out. Share it out. Share it out. Somebody may need it, and you may be the one to deliver it to them. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you have any questions, by all means, put them below, or you can DM me privately. Until next time, guys, don't forget to press it out. That part.